anger. Today I felt so much fire and so much anger inside of me. And when I was younger, my tendency was to scream and yell, and I wasn't able to control all of that anger. And I was also brought up to express, to not push down emotions, to express it. So in my family, that's okay. I might express anger loudly to my sister, and a minute later we're laughing and it's out and it's gone. And I was brought up that way. But in romantic relationships, the other partner doesn't always appreciate those outbursts, as I'm learning in adulthood. And so I felt this anger, and my natural tendency now is to hide it, to have shame around my anger, that I have anger, and pushing it down. But what is anger? I'm learning. It took me a long time to learn that my anger, I portray outward because I want to come across as strong. I don't want to be called a crybaby or weak, or perceive myself as weak. So any hurt I portray as anger, and I outwardly act on that anger. But deep down, when I sink into my heart, that anger is just covering up deep sadness. And I was speaking with my ex-partner. We're healing right now as we're transitioning to moving out in different places where we're going to live. And we're just, both kind of in our wounds and in our process, and kind of hurting, well, not intentionally, but just naturally hurting one another. I'm so sensitive and hurt and heartbroken that him being here is really hard. So he has decided to leave early, a few days early. He doesn't want to hurt me anymore. And I was just angry. And I just was thinking of, why am I so angry? And am I going to push that down and hide that or suppress that? Or am I going to acknowledge that? This is our last day, maybe in person on earth together. I don't know if I'll ever see him again in person. And so I came home after yoga, and I said, we need to play a game. And instead of yelling and screaming, I just thought of this authentic relating game to become really real with each other. And it's called, I just made it up. Maybe other people use this too. But I wanted to just tap deep into my anger and healing. And this was the last day to do it. So the game is called 2, 4, and then I'm sorry. So we spend 5 minutes. We had a timer, and I started 5 minutes, and I thought I had so much I needed to say, and really it was a minute of FU4. Just like all of my anger for giving up on us, not seeing my gifts, not accepting my love, not wanting to see me differently, not healing your heart, just everything I was angry about. And he listened. And then he had 5 minutes to express his anger, and in the years we've been together, he's never once said F you to me. But I wanted him to tap into that anger because he's so kind. I wanted him to tap in to that. And so he said it softly and gently, but I wanted him to say it with strength and what he was angry about, because I could visibly see he was angry and very closed off to me. So he shared for 5 minutes everything. And it wasn't a lot, it's maybe 2 minutes of saying things. And then just looking in each other's eyes, crying, holding space for that person. That person had 5 minutes of undivided space. And then the next 5 minutes, I was able to apologize. His heart has been so closed because in the years we were together, I didn't apologize enough. He was hurt and I never acknowledged his hurt and his pain. So it was 5 minutes, 5 small minutes of saying I'm sorry for all the unintentional times I hurt him. He was the man I did everything in my mind not to hurt, and I hurt him unintentionally. Words I said, things I did, it was never out of intention, and I just never apologized for the times that I did accidentally hurt him. And it was like 5 minutes. I could see his heart soften and tears in his eyes, and then he was able to apologize and acknowledge why I'm so hurt, why I'm so mad at him for giving up on us, for him walking away even days earlier, for thinking that I'm kicking him out, which isn't true. I just want to live with him every single day of my life. And those 20 minutes brought such deep healing, such peace, to feel heard, to feel seen in my anger. The anger dropped. We both dropped into a sadness. I laid into his arms. It was a nice goodbye. It was such a nice closure and goodbye. We left, he left. Well, we left each other. We walked away from each other without anger. Hurt, of course, our hearts are broken, but no anger. So I encourage, if we had that game 2 years ago in our relationship, I'm sure we'd still be together. It was 10 minutes for each of us. All I needed was really 2. And I had years of upset that I was dealing with, and it was 2 minutes of anger towards him. And I was able to say it in an adult, mature way, strong words, but without yelling, just in gentleness. And he was able to hear it because I wasn't yelling. I was able to cry and see that my anger was just sadness and heartbreak. It was really a beautiful game. It was a beautiful way to express my anger, to encourage another to express their anger, to not be ashamed of our anger, to know that our anger is just protecting us, protecting our hearts from such pain. They always say communication is the most important thing in relationships, and we knew that. And we had radical honesty workshops at our house, and we agreed to commit to radical honesty, and we lost that along the way. I was so afraid to lose him. I was so afraid to bother him that all I wanted was 5 minutes to express myself, and I was so scared to lose love, to lose his love, that I lost it by not giving our relationship 5 minutes a day to speak our pains, to ask for forgiveness, to forgive another. Literally 5 minutes a day. He's like, JD, you're not asking for a lot. I never thought I was asking for a lot in a relationship, and really now I realize all I wanted was 5 minutes, because when he was this big mystery to me for years, and I never knew what was going on in his mind and his brain and his hardships, and he didn't know what I was dealing with, and I didn't want to burden him with any of my stress or anxiety or worries about the future. I just thought about him and wanted him to be so happy, and I was not able to fulfill him because I didn't actually know what he wanted. I kept giving him everything, but it wasn't what he wanted. So it ended up in resentments, anger, frustration, feeling like I gave him everything, but really I gave him nothing that he needed. How enlightening is that? And I never, ever, ever want to make that error ever again in this lifetime. Use my voice, I have a voice. Express my needs, they're not shameful. If I need 5 minutes, that's not too much to ask for. I hope this story may inspire you to reach out to a friend, a partner, a relative, and ask for 5 minutes. Ask for 5 minutes each, or ask for 5 minutes of apologies. The game could be, I want you to apologize for. I want you to apologize for this and that and this and that. And spend 5 minutes, and then give the other have 5 minutes of undisturbed energy and attention to apologize for what they heard. It's profoundly healing, profoundly healing. I wish I had this tool. I wish I asked for this tool earlier. I wish I wasn't scared of this tool. Fear of loss is so painful, and I pushed down so much for fear of losing him, and he's gone. He's out of my life. Anyways, so I hope this learning will help you on your journey. Aho.